Hey everyone, to my baby dogs and to my fly guy dogs out there, the kin dog, fly guy dogs. Today we're going to talk about 10 things to know about dating a woman who pole dances because you shouldn't expect her to know how to give lap dances. It's hard out there for a pole dancer. On the one hand, we know our work ethic, scrappiness, and passion for dance makes us total catches, and we want to scream in front of the rooftops. On the other hand, on top of the rooftops. On the other hand, strip clubs have poles in them, so we know that pole dancer can be societal code for stripper. There are so many myths about pole dancers that can make it scary to tell anyone, least of all the people we want to date. Fun fact, places where strip clubs do not have poles in them or where very few poles, few exist at all, can totally have thriving pole communities. Still, when something's a big part of your life, you kind of have to tell people. Just not people on Tinder, because yikes. I know a lot of people would assume this is asking for trouble, but for me, it's the first test of whether someone can hang. If they do the Wile E. Coyote tongue thing at a modest pole picture, okay, probably not for me, and I would employ one of these epic shutdowns. But if they can maintain enough self-control to at least pretend they're curious about pole as a sport, they've got my attention. Still, the ignorance is there, and the fear and the prejudice are very real. I was explaining to one dude how I worked as a pole instructor and sometimes did bachelorette parties. And he was like, I'm sorry, but that's really slutty. And I was like, wow. And he was like, dancing for a bunch of bachelors is what a stripper would do. And then I had to explain that bachelorette parties are all women and that working them means teaching dance moves in a classroom setting, and then there was an awkward silence. So, here's what I know after 4 years on the pole. A girl living that pole life requires a certain kind of partner. Secure, supportive, and a good shoulder massage. But what she's also got to have, man or woman, that understands certain things about her lifestyle. Because misconceptions abound big time. So, here are a few things your future potential girlfriend who pole dances would like you to understand. Number one, she's really proud of these bruises. Your pole gal will get bruised a lot. So get good at hiding your horror and repulsion. We in the pole community call them pole kisses and consider them a sign of hard work. So just be cool and pass her the arnica gel. I haven't heard of that gel, but my dancing days on the pole, like I would buy a pole for at home and dance. I don't work in the club. I have worked in topless only in the past. in different cities. There was one that, of course, Los Angeles, where I am. That's where I got my start. I have outside of Chicago, as well as outside of St. Louis, Missouri. So just a few little places I've been here and there, you know. So once a dancer, once you got the moves, you've always got the moves though, honey. So number 2, she probably won't notice if she's not wearing pants. We need skin for grip. Skin sticks, clothes slips. So booty shorts to us are like swimsuits for Olympic divers. A uniform. Don't be surprised if your girl wanders around the house between practice sessions in hot pants. And don't make it a sex thing. P.S. A gentle reminder may be necessary if she's almost leaves the house that way. It's easy for us to forget. Number 3, if she wants to show you a trick, don't make it about her body. As with the booty shorts, the sexy aspect of pole is something we stop noticing after repeated exposure. We love that you think we're cute, but really, if we're trying to show you this trick we've worked on for hours, don't fixate on our body parts. Please, just watch the trick. Exception, bicep appreciation is always welcome. Let her do it and make it a big fuss over how hard it is, because it's so hard, right? Number 5, pole is not a sex thing unless it is, so stop trying to make it happen. Yeah, we don't need that. Number 6, don't expect us to know how to give lap dances. Learning pole and aerial tricks does not earn us our multifunctional stripper cards. It also doesn't mean we have any interest in sexy dancing. A quick trip to YouTube should fill you in on the many styles of pole. Sporty or lyrical girls don't do much humping and grinding, or bumping and grinding, that is. And even the slinky dancers may have no desire to cater to your personal dance preferences after hours. Number 7, but when it does come to sex stuff, brace yourself. It is a confidence thing. Number 8, massages are not an extra, they're a necessity. Speaking of sex, you know now your go-to foreplay move. Shoulder rubs, give early and often. Number 9, for the most part, we're totally normal girls. The more you can treat pole like any other interest, the happier and more comfortable we'll feel having you in our lives. Number 10, but if we do ever perform for you, please have this reaction. or this one. Now, go forth and be an excellent pole partner. So we know that it gets a little deeper than that when it comes to wanting to date a exotic dancer or a pole dancer. In my situation, I was a little bit of both. I won't say, like, I won't be honest if I say that I don't think that, like, I give a good lap dance. That's the only thing that I can totally agree with. I have to say that, I mean, I think that I can dance, period. Like, that's just me personally, but it was informational right now for me to know that some pole dancers don't know how to lap dance. Like, that was actually surprising to me, the most surprising thing to me. So jumping back in it, everything you need to know before dating a dancer. So we'll talk a little bit about maybe not so much for the exotic dancers and the regular dancers. So let's jump right in. And it says right here that on the surface, the idea of dating a dancer is extremely appealing to a lot of people. And again, a lot of these conversations are coming from me and my cousins, just, you know, picking some topics to talk about. And my cousins know that in the past I have some dancing experience under my belt, like dancing with some of my friends who are professional dancers and have danced for professional rappers, like rappers that are really signed, and I won't name drop. I personally haven't danced for any professional rappers myself. That was my friends. But, you know, I would have to say that dancers, in my opinion, are really fun people to hang around. And I think that dancers, we totally, you know, exotic or not, like a lot of the parties I went to was with my friends that danced with for professionals, and all of the parties were totally like nice, upscale. It wasn't like, you know, anything inappropriate was going on, because when you're dealing on that level with professionals, I would have to say from my experience of being out with them, it's on a different level. Not saying when I worked in a club that I seen any hooking up going on, because I'd never seen any hooking up going on in my experience of dancing. So jumping back in, the idea of dating a dancer is extremely appealing to a lot of people. We're passionate, driven, and have a love for all things related to the arts. But we are also so much more than that. And those great qualities of ours often drive the people we date crazy. For anyone who is currently dating or wanting to date a girl who dances, this is for you. When you're dating a dancer, you're dating somebody who is so passionate about what she does. This is absolutely incredible to witness, especially in performance. But it is also something that can be difficult. It can be difficult for non-dancers to understand. Our passion for dance outweighs a lot of other things, meaning that you will often get an apologetic call or text saying that plans need to be changed because I have rehearsal. When you're dating a dancer or rehearsal, it's nothing personal, but dance outweighs a lot of things, meaning that you will often get an apologetic call or text saying that plans need to be changed because I have rehearsal. It's nothing personal, but dance was there for us before you were, and should things go south with the relationship, dance will still be there for us before. Dance will still be there for us when you are not. We genuinely feel bad when we have to cancel plans. And most of the time, it's not our fault when schedules change. So please be patient with us. I have to say, I've had that experience in the past. Honestly, I can say my experience with being in a relationship, because I was in a relationship at the time that I was doing some topless dancing, and it seemed that like the schedule, like there's always a schedule, and I think it is important to have somebody that understands that you have a schedule and have somebody that's on your page, because they have to have that respect that it is a job like, you know, any other job, except, you know, when you're a model. You know, I think a lot of times dancers are also models, because I have been signed twice in my life, and you know, a lot of times you can get a job as an exotic dancer as well, because you have a certain sex appeal about yourself. So it's really important to have somebody on the same page as you. Absolutely, I agree with that, because you want to still be treated, you know, fair. You want the person to like totally be understanding that I'm at work, you know, it's not like I'm out cheating or anything like that. So if that person wants to date a dancer, they need to see that as that you are working, not that you're, you know, that you're out like taking somebody else serious. Because in my case, that was absolutely not the case for me. If I'm dancing, it's just something, it's just like entertainment. I'm pretty sure we see that like a lot in like Las Vegas, for example. Those dancers, I feel like if it's Las Vegas, if it's Los Angeles, if it's Atlanta, it shouldn't really matter. All the women, in my opinion, should be treated the same. But again, that goes back to having and being on the same page. Your partner has to be on the same page with you. So moving forward, our drive is another positive quality that can make a relationship a little difficult at times. We have big dreams, some of them a little out of reach, but nothing will stop us from achieving those big dreams. No matter how insane they may seem, the worst thing you could do to us is tell us to think realistically. Trust me, we know how hard it is to really make it in the dance world. That doesn't mean we need you to remind us of this fact. The best thing you can do for us is support us in our endeavor to reaching our dreams. One of the worst things you can do when dating a dancer is make light of what we do and who we are. No, it's really not funny when you mock ballet or talk about how silly you think dance is. That is a sure way to get yourself kicked to the curb. Another thing that is completely rude in general, but especially to dancers, is to make negative comments about what we eat. I don't need you making jokes when we go out and I order a burger because you thought dancers only eat salads. Dance is hard enough on our minds and bodies. I mean, we spend hours daily looking at ourselves in a mirror wearing a leotard and tights. We don't need you to make these comments. Sometimes we get cranky. A cast list didn't go as we expected. We had 8 hours of rehearsals on our new shoes, gave us massive blisters. We just want to come home, binge watch something on Netflix, and eat everything in sight. The best thing you can do for us is be there. We'll notice and we'll appreciate it. Okay, I don't want this conversation chat subject topic to discourage anyone from dating a dancer. On the contrary, I think if you treat us well, we can be one of the best girlfriends you ever had. Just please, be patient with us. It will pay off because we will put in an equal amount of effort into the relationship that we do with dance. Now, that last part about being there, that one stood out the most to me. The reason why that one stood the most out to me was because in a partnership, I think that it's so important to always communicate, with your dancer, if your girlfriend is a dancer, to always let it be known what you're thinking or what you're feeling. Because dancers, you can talk to a dancer about any and everything. I have to say the people that I've met that are dancers are the most loving people. I have to say the most loving people that I have met. And that goes for every city that I have danced in. I have experienced the same amount of love, admiration, appreciation. I mean, these girls are like baby dolls, like my baby dolls, they're just sweethearts. And I couldn't imagine anyone thinking that you can't come to us about anything. If there is some type of feeling that you have or concern that you have about what's going on in the club, I would say just ask, and not even in that situation, in a partnership, whether you're just talking at the very beginning, getting to know each other, or you're already established, I would say that you should always speak your mind instead of like holding anything in. And I'm the type of person, I'm very, very open about any and everything that's going on with me. And if I was to go back to the club right now, and if I was in a relationship and my partner wanted to come to the club with me, in the past, it's always been open. I have never, ever had a wall up. I've never, ever been like, or put it out there, you can't come to the club with me. It's such an open environment from my experience. I have had, and I won't name any names, but they know who they are that are really, really close, have come to the club with me. Like my best friends have even came to the club. It's nothing to hide. But this article is really, really important because now I have a lot of insight looking and reflecting on the past, things that I could have said as well. Like now that I see this these conversations, I mean, now that I'm thinking more in depth about these conversations that I've had with my cousins and different things that I've read online, it's really an eye-opener, baby dolls and Ken doll babies. It's so huge because I now see I could have asked also, like, hey, I noticed that you were never you don't come party with me. Like, why? I could have asked why. So I'm like, duh, like, how come I didn't say something? But I mean, we live and learn. We absolutely live and learn. But certain things, I think, like, it's just like certain things we probably just don't notice because we're really, really young. So if there's anybody that I can help, I want you to know from my experience, don't always wait for somebody else to say something. If you notice something, like, say that you're right now, that is your career, that you are, dancing, whether it be online or, whether it be that you work, in a established, club or something. If you notice, like how I noticed that my partner was, for example, showing up late, I didn't notice. And I mean, I noticed, but I didn't say anything. I just totally accepted it. And I want all of my baby dolls and my Ken dolls out there, to know, because I know we have some hot guys that dance too. I personally, I haven't met any, but I know that it's a professional opportunity. It's a job that male or female can do. For sure, just talk. Just always talk, because communication is like everything. And on the other channel, I like how I spoke about aggressive. Like, make sure that the conversation is not aggressive, because if it's aggressive, it's all about the approach. You want to for sure make sure that you're coming from a place of, really, really caring about, coming from a positive place, that you want a positive change. And we know that in order to have a positive change, that you have to come from a positive place, a place that you know you truly care about the person and you really want to grow with your partner. So, you know, being in that, you know, in that comfort zone, you know, you want the person that you're talking to also be comfortable. And these things I truly, truly wish that I would have known like 5 years ago, you know, even 10 years ago. I wish I would have known. But the good thing about it is that I still know now, and that I can share the information, and that it can totally, totally, totally help somebody else. Like, absolutely don't be in the blind. You know, be open about, you know, every and anything that you have a concern about. Like, okay, you know, I want you to be around. You know, I understand if you're busy, but if you find a free moment where you're not busy, please come and hang out with me, your girl, China Dollar. Right? That's how we want to do it. So again, everybody, this conversation is giving you a little bit of insight on a lot of different things that I've not really shared. And it feels really, really good to start, you know, embarking and being on this journey of being more open and, you know, just learning to just say it like it is, and, you know, let things be known instead of like just burying them, you know, because that really doesn't help anybody at all. So thank you again for taking the time to tap in with me and, you know, listen to this awesome, interesting chat. And I'm sure we're gonna have a whole lot more in the near future. And, you know, you can be very much a part of that by helping me. You can help China Dollar help me help you. Let's do this. Right? Let's do this. So if there's something that you have, a question that you might have for me, do me a favor and in the comment section below, ask me any question you want, or give me a topic to discuss, and I would love to talk about it with you on the very next chat that we have. So stay tuned and stay fabulous and stay wonderful, and, you know, stay being a beautiful dog. Okay, until next time, I'll talk to you soon.